Hello, and welcome back to the Empower Her Business podcast. I'm your host, Linette Cottrell, founder of Empower Her Bookkeeping and Advisory, where I support women in building businesses. They don't just generate revenue, but actually support the life they're creating. I guide female founders with compassionate accounting to eliminate guilt, shame, and avoidance around their finances and embrace relief. This is my calling. In this space, the Empower Her Business podcast is dedicated to bringing expert advice, resources, solutions, and support to Black women founders who were bold enough and brave enough to step into this business journey. So welcome to another episode of our Financial Roundtable. In the past, we've dedicated this space and this time to talk about numbers, revenue, profit, taxes, and strategy. But behind every number, behind every business is a woman holding a vision, responsibility, growth, and sometimes a weight that isn't always seen. So today we're stepping into this space differently and taking you beyond the numbers. This is our exhale session of the Financial Roundtable. So our fabulous superstars that you are so familiar with by now, Rhonda, Nikki, and Monique, are going to empower us to exhale today. We will be talking about mental health, protecting your peace, being supported, redefining what wealth really means, and the pivots that shape who we become, not just as business owners, but as women. Because success isn't just about what you build, it's about whether you get to experience peace while building it. So these incredible women, each accomplished in their own right, are bringing honesty, wisdom, and lived experience into this space. Collectively, we decided that we all need a break. We need an exhale session after tax season, and it's not really over. So audience, we're delighted to have you here with us today. And my hope for this exhale session is that you hear something that feels familiar, something that reminds you that you're not alone, and something that gives you permission to define success in a way that truly honors who you are. So let's take a breath and step into this conversation. Ladies, welcome. So let's start with this for each of you. In one sentence, who are you outside of what you do? And I'll start with you, Rhonda. Who are you outside of the work that you do?
I'm a woman that loves life.
Ah,
There's my one sentence.
I love that. And I love those colors you have on. I love those flowers.
Oh, thank you.
It gives me life. Now we go to Nikki. Nikki, who are you outside of what you do?
I'm a woman of faith, wife and mother, and someone who values peace, growth, and a meaningful connection. That is me.
Love that. Love that. Monique, who are you outside of what you do?
Honestly, I could take Nikki's words and just repeat it verbatim. Everything she just said. That
Okay.
as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I have a question for you guys. As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up? And is it in any way related to what you're doing now? And we have, I don't know about you guys, but I know I went through like iterations of what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I would like for you guys to share with the audience a little about what you wanted to be when you grew up. Rhonda, I start with you.
So what's funny is I can't say that I wanted to be an accountant when I was younger, but I always loved numbers. So when I was a kid, my dad would, whatever reason he needed to go to the office supply store, I always wanted to go.
Ah.
And not because, just wanted to pick up office supplies, but I loved playing with the calculators and the cash register. Of
Ah.
all things, it's so crazy.
Yes.
But, I didn't realize until later on in life that, okay, that's showing your proclivity to want to work with
Mm.
numbers and specifically money around it. I mean, I
Ah.
always enjoyed playing with that kind of stuff. I didn't know I wanted to be an accountant until
Right.
late high school years when I took a
Ah.
class. But yeah, that's where it started.
Oh, wonderful. I love that story. How about you, Nikki? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a lawyer.
Ah.
But the funny thing was that I will always give advice to my dad regarding his finances because he had a construction company.
Uh-huh.
So I will always give him advice, say, oh, you don't have to do this, you have to do this way. And one day my mother told me, I don't think you're going to be a lawyer. I see you as an accountant.
Ah.
Yeah, so, and I was really mad that day. And I said, no, I want to be a lawyer because I want to, I want to protect women. I want to do this. And she was
Uh-huh.
like, nope, I'm not seeing you like that. And finally, she was right. So when I graduated from high school, for some reason, I decided to be an accountant.
For some reason, huh? Just out the blue, huh?
Yes, out of the blue, I decided. Yeah, she was right. So I
Wonderful.
I like numbers. I like to give advice.
Yes, and it goes hand in hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Monique, what about you? What did you want to be when you grew up?
When I was growing up, I wanted to be the boss. It
Ah.
didn't matter. It didn't matter over what, over who.
Uh-huh.
I have pictures of myself as a little girl, and I'm just looking like, because I said so. Right? And it has truly tracked with me throughout life. Like, there are some people that just innately have leadership qualities. I cannot sit in a room and like sit in the back and be quiet. Like, it's just, I'm going to see something. I have to say something. And over time, I've tried to pull back, but that whole, I want to be the boss, it just takes over.
I love that. I love that. Awesome, awesome. Okay. Next, we're going to talk a little more about beyond the work. So, what is something people would be surprised to learn about you beyond your professional role? Nikki, I'll start with you this time.
So I would say that beyond what I do, my work, I like quiet environment, and I would say I like to be around with my kids, and and I like reading. So that is why I really like to read, and keep thinking about what to do next.
Got it. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a reader and you like your peace and quiet.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Rhonda? What is something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Surprised to learn about. I guess it'd be people who don't know me outside of work. I used to be a boot camp instructor for some time. I mean, that was not my official profession, but outside of working, then that was where I was going in the evenings. Like it's time for us to work. It's time for us to work out. And I did it for years. I loved it. But now I spend most of my free time, if I'm going to be working out, I love step class. It is my absolute, hey, nothing's going to get in the way of this. Here's where we're going. This is what we're doing. I feel like it's a good brain activity, but it's always fun. Bring on the music, bring out my step, bring out my friends. Let's go.
Nice, nice. What about you, Monique? What's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a surprise, but I don't think people realize how huge my spiritual life is. Like
Mm,
it's something that even as I run my business, like that's the foundation of it.
mm,
So it plays a like when I'm dealing with clients, the decisions that I make, there is just such this huge role where I'm going to God about everything. I'm going to God about you. I'm going to God about my next decision.
yeah.
And so it is a huge part of my life that I don't speak about all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, it is a conversation that ends up coming up, and I noticed and realized even within my business with my clients, and especially a lot of my female clients, when they do find out that piece, it's kind of like a sigh of relief, like, okay, I'm with the right person.
Ah,
I don't bring it out at first, but it does come out
mhm.
as a part of me because it's
Got
just
it.
their piece.
Got it. All right. Wonderful, wonderful, beautiful. All right, Rhonda, this one goes to you. What does a day that feels peaceful and aligned look like for you now?
Peaceful and aligned day is starting out on the right foot, right? I usually get my calendar doesn't open up until about 10 a.m.
Mm,
So before that time, I usually get up about 6:30 or so. But
mm,
this is my time of quiet, my time of peace where I'm getting up, I'm reading. I have whatever devotional is in that I'm on at the particular moment I do that. I've been on this challenge lately of doing my push-ups after when I get out of the bed, it's time to do my push-ups.
mm,
However many we're getting to, but that's how our day is getting started out. If it's nice outside, I like to go and take a walk. And
mm,
then it's time to ease into the day. But if I don't have time to myself before we get started, I don't want to think about work
mm.
until until I have gotten past all of the things that I wanted to do for me before we get
Got it.
into that. So
Got
that's what a peaceful day looks like for me. It starts
it.
out right.
Right. Now, have you always started your days like that?
Not always. The older I get, the more and more I put priority on that, just because I realize how important it is and how
Yeah.
easy it is for people to kind of take away your time with whatever their priorities are. I decided,
Yeah.
I got to focus on what's going to be best for me and my growth and my development,
Mm,
rather than putting everything else in front of that. It's
mm,
like there's a time and place for taking care of everybody else, but I can't pour from an empty glass. If I don't take care of myself, I cannot take care of anyone else.
mm. I love that. I love that. Wonderful, wonderful. What about you, Nikki? What does a day that feels peaceful and aligned look like for you?
When I'm not rushing and when I'm clear in my mind and I'm grounded with faith,
Mhm.
and also when I have my family present with me. So
Okay.
so that is how I will call my day peaceful, because I'm not moving, I'm not under pressure.
Got it. Got it. So
Mhm.
you're not rushing and you're spending quality time with your family.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds peaceful. What about you, Monique?
A peaceful day for me is getting up and having that cup of coffee
Mm.
and not accepting phone calls. Everybody
Ah,
else's, problems and issues. And when
mm,
I have a quiet day of phone calls, that in and of itself is peaceful. I will accept two calls outside of the home because my husband and my son's here, but my two girls, they're in different, states right now. So I get their calls and that puts me at peace once I know they're good. After that, if I don't hear from anybody else, I'm good. I'm good.
got you. I love it. I love the way that you all prioritize your peace as you start your day. That's very important because a lot of times when we can jump into a day, I remember when I was in the phase of raising my kids, how I would just jump into the morning, right? There was no me time at the beginning of the day. That concept never even entered my mind. It was like, okay, what do I need to do for everybody else? And now I'm like you, Rhonda. There's just a certain number of hours in the beginning of my day that's for me. It's for me to make sure that the way I step into the world, I step as a whole person. Like, I'm not going out there and interacting with other people and I'm frazzled and I haven't centered and grounded myself. So I love to hear that you guys are, taking the time to make sure that you do that for you. And like you said, Monique, there are some days when there's phone calls are not going to be answered. They'll be all right. I get to them later.
The other night I was scrolling through social media, and I don't know why Bruce Lee was in my algorithm.
Ah.
But he was being interviewed, and they asked him a question related to peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the way the question was phrased, but he said, you have to choose peace. And when he said that, I was like, absolutely.
Yes.
Like, you have to choose, right? So when I click decline, like that is seriously me choosing peace. When we wake up and we choose to take that walk or whatever it is, it's a choice. We can either jump into the chaos, or like Nikki said, I think it was Nikki that mentioned being slow, into that day.
Yeah.
Well, that's a choice that we have to intentionally make.
Yeah, because the world is not going to give you that peace. You have to create that peace for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. All right. Love that. So let's talk a little bit about mental health and pressure. As high-achieving women, how has work impacted your mental and emotional well-being over time? And I want to start with you on this, Monique.
Wow. If you had asked me this question 2 weeks ago, about mental health, probably would have been on a ledge. Don't ask me nothing about mental health. But, over time, it's kind of like this roller coaster. It has been this roller coaster thing, because it depends on the phase in life. When I was trying to work and I had young kids, well, that was just like, again, I'm on the edge. I'm at the edge of the cliff, ready to jump off. But as we just talked about peace, right? And how, yes, you have to choose it. And so for me, as a tax preparer and an accountant, I take spring break off with my kids, right? And we will go somewhere. And yes, it is the worst time to take off, because the clients are like, what are you doing taking, a week off before the tax deadline? But no, I need that pause. And because everyone else, there are so many people that will come at that last minute, say, I need this done. I need this done. I make my cutoff March 31st, because I'm not killing myself. I've learned I can't kill myself right up to that deadline. I do take that step back. And so again, it's something that when we see that we're going through these periods of, yes, immense pressure, it's up to us to say, I need to pause. And I have learned that in life. Now, my kids are older, so it's easier for me, because I feel like when you have younger kids, it's hard to pause. Their schedules don't align with yours. But where I am, today, I do have to intentionally pause, because my eyes will be bloodshot red. It'll start twitching. I get issues in my jaw. It's a whole thing.
Yes. Like your body starts talking to you, right?
It does.
It's like,
really does.
If you won't just automatically, act right, I'm going to send you some signals to help you figure out you need to change some things.
Yep. And so I have to listen to all of the signals.
Exactly. And that's key too, because a lot of times we cannot listen. We can be like, oh, I'm just going to do this one more thing. I got a headache, but let me go ahead and get this done, right? I'm tired, but let me just push through and get this done. And then something breaks and you gotta rest, right? Your body forces you to rest. So it's a lot better when we listen to those signals.
Yeah.
What about you, Rhonda? How has work impacted your mental health or emotional well-being over time? And has it changed over time?
I feel like it definitely has changed over time. And the older I get and the more intentional I try to be about protecting my own peace and my own sanity, then it's just gotten better over time. I remember earlier in my career when I was still working for others, and it felt like there was a lot of stress, especially, at that particular phase of my life. I was a manager and I had people across the country. And you start thinking that anytime things go wrong, then it's a reflection on you. And I used to take a lot of that things personal and
Mm,
recognizing that, oh, how much stress it was adding to my life unnecessarily.
mm,
And then as I transitioned out of that role and then eventually out of the company completely and moved into my own working environment, I realized that I was taking some of those same habits and bringing them into working for myself.
yes.
And, it takes a while before you recognize, like, wait a minute, the stress that I'm experiencing, I brought it on myself. And
Yeah.
what's funny is there was one day that I went to the gym and I was talking to one of my buddies there, and she was asking me about how the day was, and I said, well, it's been a little, it was a long day. And she knows that I am self-employed, and she's like, well, sounds like you brought all these, is this a stress of your own doing? And she said it
Oh,
jokingly, but I realized, I
uh-huh.
was like, you're so right. You're
Yeah.
so right. Every bit of this is stuff that I've established for myself. And
Yeah.
to realize, like, hey, this is not the way that I need to function. And from that period on, just that random conversation with a friend, I said, okay, I got to be more intentional about setting my own standards for what this looks like and how I'm going to protect my own sanity, my own peace. And
Mm,
ever since that time, it has been so much better. You start realizing, like, no, I don't need to answer calls. I don't need to take quick calls. No, if you want to be on my schedule, you plan it. You book
mm,
time. This is the dedicated time that you have to speak with me. You're not going to throw off my schedule because, hey, I got an emergency right now. That's not my problem. I
yes.
had to start realizing that is okay, Rhonda. It's okay.
Yes. Isn't it amazing the habits that we carry over into an entrepreneur journey that it really
Absolutely.
takes something to make us look at it, right? Like you said, for you it was that conversation. But it's not a natural process that we move from being an employee to being an entrepreneur and then we just naturally change everything. We usually either keep the same schedule or even work more hours, right? Like we get up
Right.
earlier, we work later, right? And
Mhm.
there's like no line between, oh, I need to take a lunch break now, or I need to stop and
Mhm.
sit down and eat dinner away from my computer. So it takes it really is a learning process, and I say it's one of those. I think there's a lot of nuances to being an entrepreneur that are not spoken about. So when you start being an entrepreneur, there's a lot you have to learn on your own, right? Because they're not no one says you get to set your own schedule. Now you can set your schedule for the person you are. Like if you're a morning person, you can set your schedule that you do your work in the morning. If you're an evening person, you can set your schedule to do your work in the evening because you couldn't do that as an employee, right? So there are things like that I'm with you, Rhonda. You have to learn that, okay, wait a minute. I am in control of this, so let me make some changes.
Right.
So, Nikki, can you share something you've learned about protecting your peace? Has that been something that you had to work on, or situations that made you realize, okay, it's time for me to do something differently to protect my peace?
I will say that what I learned from my first job. My first job was very tough
Mm-hmm.
because I worked in the bank, the financial institute, and we do not have different software um, for the accounting or and the bank transaction, the bank activity. So we have only one software, so everything
Ah,
is so through. Um, so we have some moment that we have to, sleep at work
oh,
to get
wow.
yes to get yes to to close the year.
Yes.
Yes, because it was a process, right? So we can close if we have to do some transaction, the back date. We cannot do any back date when the bank is open, when the activity is flowing. So we have to wait for the day to be closed before we open the system and do
Right.
some adjustment. And that is how we were, maybe stay there for 2 days, 3 days, and that is where I learned how to drink coffee. I took a lot of coffee. So when I leave that job, the first thing I needed to do was to adjust what I was like. First, I won't work anymore in the financial institution.
Yeah.
For the peace of mind, I say that one is done. And then
Yes.
the second thing that I have to adjust was the time management. So I decided to set up my time. I said, okay, if the work is for 8 to 5, I have to do everything that will happen between those time. I know that I have my lunch time and everything. So I learned to manage that. And the best way I learned to manage my time between those was to make a list. So I start with a list of the stuff that I have to do for the day. When it's done, it's done. If there's something that come, like sometimes we have urgency, so I will know how to balance between those. But after 5, I'm done. No my weekend is for my family.
Yes.
Yes. So that is how I learned. I think it was the best way. It was the best thing that I have implemented for myself.
Right.
And when I started being on my own, I continued that as well. And my customer know. Nikki worked from 8 to 5. After
that.
5, she's not with you.
Yeah.
And then the weekend, she's not with you. Yeah. And I make sure that everything is done on time. Yeah. So I don't have to do any overtime.
Yes, love it. Setting those boundaries around the time. Oh, I can't imagine having to sleep at work. Having to be there so late that you have to sleep there and then get up and keep working because the system was so connected to everything. But yeah, I can see how that will work. I remember working in my first when I first started in accounting. My first job was working for a CPA firm, and I worked for the CPA firm for 1 year, and then I got out. That's what I call it. I got out because, in my experience, they kind of wanted to own your life. It was kind of like they call it paying your dues, and paying your dues was you're available whenever we need you to meet whatever deadline. You didn't have a weekend, right? That was like you didn't have a weekend. You didn't have a nighttime, right? It was kind of like whatever needs to be done within whatever time frame we've promised this client, this audit would be completed. That's when that's the timeline needs to be completed in. So you weren't allowed to say, well, I'm tired, I need to go home. I don't want to come in on the weekend. We have deadlines, so we need everybody to come in to get this done. I was like, you know what? This is not the life for me. I can't see myself ever enjoying this. So let me switch and do something else. So definitely figuring out things and setting those boundaries. Wonderful, wonderful. So I often talk to my clients about we're not meant to do this alone. And I find that it can be a struggle, especially for women, to ask for help or support when we need it, as opposed to plowing through and getting things done. And especially I find it for Black women because we've had to figure so much out with so little support, right? We've historically gotten so little support from the system that we've had to figure it out anyway, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to stop here and just drop dead. So You're not going to help me. Let me find another way to get this done. But that can turn into us being not being able to see when we should ask for help, when there is support available, and understanding that we're not meant to do it all alone. So as an entrepreneur and as a woman running your own business, what did you have to learn, or did you have an experience? Did you have to unlearn how to ask for help, or was that something that came easily to you? Rhonda, I'll start with you.
I feel like asking for help has been a piece that was already kind of incorporated into my career before I started my own business. Just recognizing, especially in leadership, that you can't do everything. Matter of fact, you don't have time to do everything, and you
Yeah.
don't know how to do everything. You know, like that's
Yes,
why you have a
that part.
team.
Yes, yes.
I'm like, I am here to both protect my team and help my team get whatever it is that they need to be successful.
Mm,
And having that experience, especially now that I look back upon my career before I started the business, like it helped me to get to a place where you recognize I don't have to go out and try to do all of the things. Like there are so many talented people out here in this world.
yeah.
Tap into them. Tap into them. I'm good at what I'm good at, but
Uh-huh.
there are a million other people that are excellent at other things. And
Mm.
yes, come on, come hither.
Yes.
I have a place for you.
Yes.
And like the longer I am in business, the more I'm trying to figure out what are some of those things. What are the things that I'm doing that I don't need to be doing anymore? What
Mm.
are the things that I need to focus on that only I can do? And
Mm.
everything else, let me spend my time finding who's going to be the person that can take this from me. In the last couple of years, I felt like it's been really great with finding great folks who can take a
Ah,
lot of things off of my plate. And
good.
we've added a few more people to my team that's just kind of made it wonderful. And you
Mm.
start realizing, like, okay, if you can get it to the point of even 70% of what I was doing, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Take it and run
Yeah.
with it. Right.
Right.
It does not have
That
any
part.
letting go of this
Yeah.
idea, because I like things to a certain standard, right? But trying to let those things go and figure out, okay, what does the standard need to be? And not what does Rhonda think the standard needs to be, but what
Yes.
does the standard, universally speaking, what does that need to be?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then let folks thrive where they can and
Mm.
where they do, and taking some things off of me so that way I can focus on, all right, here is, just as Nikki was saying earlier, here's the time that I work.
Mm.
And in this amount of time, this is what I'm gonna get done, because this is all I'm gonna focus on. Everything else, prepare the others.
I love that. I love that. And you brought up something that I never thought about, being in management. And when you're in management, you get used to working with others and knowing that, you delegate, right?
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I think for people who step into the entrepreneur experience and they haven't been in management, so they never had the exercise or the experience with delegating, they've
mhm,
had a position that they had to do everything in that particular
mhm,
position. They kind of bring that energy into their
mhm,
entrepreneur journey. So I've never
and
thought
that's
about that.
hard.
Yeah, I've
That's
never
hard.
thought about
Yeah.
that when I'm working with people that, okay, it makes a difference if they've been in management or not,
Mhm,
because they've had the experience of it's okay to delegate. In fact, it's
mhm.
necessary to delegate, because to your point,
Absolutely.
you cannot do it all.
Mhm,
But if you've been used to working and doing it all, and especially when you working at companies that don't hire to the correct capacity, like they have one person really doing the job of three people, and if
right,
one
right.
was you, and then you move into your own business, you tend to
Do the
really
same thing.
exactly do the
Mhm.
same thing. And then when you look back at that company you used to work for, they've hired three people now to replace you. You're like, yeah, they couldn't hire not even one person. And now that I'm gone, they hired three people, right? And they always told me I wasn't doing enough.
Mhm.
So wonderful, wonderful. So, how has being in supported spaces with other women help you feel supported in your business?
I think, as with any other type of space that you're in, having a support group, it's super important, right? What first comes to my mind is the fact that besides the workspace, right, I'm married. And so a couple of us started a Bible study for married couples. And we were just like, okay, let's do this, and just, let's see how it goes. And we actually loved it. And so we finished the reading and we're like, no, we need to continue to do this. I mean, the men are saying yes, but they might but they're still saying yes. I say that to because when you're in a space of like-minded individuals, and you're asking each other the questions, and some of us have the experience and some of us don't. You're learning from each other, learning from each other's mistakes and the successes. It can only bring you to another level. And so I think that if you can find that support group, it is the best thing that you can do for yourself, for your business. um it's a must, is what I'll say. If you don't have that, then find that within your community.
Mm. And Nikki, so for the woman out there who hasn't, who's still in the phase where she thinks she has to do it all herself, and she hasn't really tapped into a support group or a circle of sisterhood or any type of group for support, what would be your advice to her? Like what would you say to her would be the benefit of tapping into that and looking into that?
So, for what I know, me personally, I always look for information. So, and because I know that information is very important. So if you are a woman and you need a support, you are not open up, maybe because you don't want to talk to someone else, I will say the best thing to do is to first find yourself, but know what you really need, and then you can do some research and learn a little more. Because more you do research, more you open your mind up, and more you are more you open your mind up, more you feel comfortable to share what your feeling is. So I know that that is what I would say. We know we have a lot of support out there, and we don't want to open into it. Sometimes we don't even know, but find yourself first. That will guide you.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's very important too to have, sisterhood circles, and not just sisterhood, but also sisters in business. I find is very meaningful because I think it's a different language between an entrepreneur and someone who's not an entrepreneur. I find that a lot of women experience that, when you hit those days where you're like, why am I even doing this? I'm just tired of this, right? Or you hit an issue or a problem that just breaks you down. You really want to have a safe space to go to talk about that, just to vent and get it out your nervous system. And you're going to get up the next day and you're going to figure it out. The solution's going to come to you. You're going to work through it. But a lot of times when we find ourselves sharing these struggles with people who are not entrepreneurs, it's like we're talking a different language. And they may say something like, well, go back to work and go back. Well, I don't know why you even left that job, right? It don't sound like this gonna work out for you, right? And that's not what we need to hear. So being in spaces where you're with like-minded women who are going through what you're going through, they understand, they know, yeah, you just having one of those days, sis. Yeah, I'm going to be an ear. I'm just going to listen. I'm not judging you. You don't really need advice. You just need to vent. And you just need someone to say, yeah, I see you. I understand. Yeah, that's horrible, right? And those safe spaces are very important. So I think when I look at the statistics of Black women-owned businesses that go out of business before we reach year 5, I think a big part of that is that we didn't find that safe space to talk to someone and realize, okay, I'm not the only one who has bad days. It doesn't mean I need to quit. It just means I need to keep putting one step in front of the other, and the solution is going to come around the corner. So, all right, let me figure this out. So, yeah, safe spaces are very important. Very important.
Mhm.
So let's talk a little bit about redefining wealth. And so this one is for you, Rhonda. How do you personally define wealth today beyond money?
Flexibility of time and being able to use your time the way that you want to, that's something that you can never get back. Like, I don't care how much money you've got, you cannot
Right.
buy yourself additional time.
Mm.
And I had a couple of friends of mine that told me that kind of walked along the journey, a long journey from transition of working for others to working for myself. And somebody once told me, she said, Rhonda, I am super happy to see that you are living the exact life that you said that you wanted to do. So you didn't just talk about it, you actually did it. And all the things that I hear you saying now about, oh yeah, I'm going to go and spend a few months down here with some, whoever it is, my family, or in a different place of the world, you're doing that. You're doing that.
Mhm.
You're doing exactly what you said you wanted to do. And that, when she said that, I took a moment and just realized, like, that's how I define wealth.
Ah,
Being able to use my time the way I want to, and leave it at that.
yes. That is very important, isn't it? That's very special because I I don't think before I became an entrepreneur that I understood the value of that. Like I didn't understand how my time was being captured by others, right?
Mhm.
How much time I was giving to doing things for others or building someone else's wealth, right? Until I got into my own business and then it kind of hit me. So yeah, that is very valuable. Having that flexibility to define your own time and own your own time. I love that. What about for you, Monique? How would you personally define wealth today beyond money?
I kind of alluded to this a little earlier, but health.
Mm,
Because I've experienced, like being an entrepreneur and not having clear boundaries. There was things that you guys talked about earlier, which I feel as though there's room for improvement for me because I've created some boundaries, but I don't feel as though I've created enough boundaries. So I don't, it takes everything inside of me to say, I'm not going to answer that call right now or that message I have clients that will text at 12, a.m. And it takes
No, no, no.
everything
right,
inside of me
right.
because I am just like, let me just get it done because then I'll put it aside. But there's always something, right? So I
Yes,
battle with that a lot.
yes.
And in me battling with that, my health, like I bought the ring to show how my stress level goes
Uh-huh.
because I like stress will take forms in my body that is just so horrible. And so when I get
Mm,
to this point, especially like, in the tax season where I'm like, no, I will go take a walk because I won't do it. I will not even give myself that time during
yes.
certain seasons. And my body, it will show up in my body. So then when
Mm,
I feel it all lifted, it's just like, oh my gosh, like this is so precious. It is so precious for these aches and pains and twitching and, everything to not be here. And so that for me is like, thank you, God. Like this is wealth. Like
yes.
having all my faculties and like this for me is wealth. Forget about the money. I got my body.
Right,
I got my health.
right. Yeah, yes. I love that. Definitely worth taking care of, right? Absolutely. So, Nikki, if you could speak to your first 5 years in business self, what would you tell her?
So I would say that the first 5 years of business, we all know that when we start it's a little bit difficult. We sometimes we ask ourselves, wasn't the good decision?
Yes.
Yeah, so I always say being yourself, so being starting your own business is always a good decision.
Mm.
So the only thing you have to learn is that you, like Rhonda said earlier, you cannot carry everything on yourself.
Mm.
You have to choose what fit you the most
Mm.
and focus on that,
Mhm.
and don't get distracted. Whenever it's hard, the harder it becomes, the stronger you become.
Mm.
And if you already understand that, you have a good foundation to overpass that 5 years.
Got
That
it.
where that the 5 year that people does not go over there.
Right, right. Most
Yeah,
people don't get there. So
they don't get there. Yeah.
So yeah, I hear what you're saying. So just know that they're going to be tough times, but after those tough times, going through those tough times, you're growing and you're getting
Mm-hmm.
stronger. So look at what you've learned from those tough times. And if you keep going forward, you'll make it through that 5-year mark. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. What about you, Rhonda? What would you say if you could speak to your first 5 year self? What would you tell her?
You're exactly where you need to be
Mm,
and keep on going.
mm,
There, I've told so many people who ask me about just the entrepreneurship journey or what it's like running your own business. And I say, I feel like in a matter of 6 months, I'll learn more than I learned in 10 years of my career,
mm.
because there's always something new
Ah,
that you didn't know. When you are working for someone else, then you are usually focused in a particular area. This
right.
is your area of expertise. But when you are running the business, then you're getting out of more of the technical side of things of, okay, I know how to do these tasks. And now you're looking more strategically of where do I want this business to go?
Mm,
And what do I want this to look like 5, 10 years from now? And what can I be doing now to get to that point? And who do I need to align with to be able to get to that point?
mm.
And thinking about things from that perspective rather than, okay, I got to figure out how to do this task. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, when I referred to earlier about focusing on the things that only I can do, I'm like, I can find somebody to do the task. I can teach them how to do the task, or
Yeah.
I can write up standard operating procedures of how to do the task. I need to focus on something else,
Mm.
right? Because if I am not focused on where this business is going to go, then this business is not going to go anywhere.
Right.
It's going to be stuck in the
Yeah.
day to day
Mm.
finishing the tasks. I'm like,
Mm.
that's not what I'm here for. That's not what
Right.
I'm here for. I'm like, yes, I am an advisor. However, the strategy needs to be something that I am focused on. And I try to work with my clients the same way.
Mhm.
And especially like if they're, whether they're in those early stages or if they've kind of gotten beyond that fact of, all right, well, what are those things that you need to be focusing on to get this
Mm.
business to the next level?
Mm.
So I just, full circle, was thinking about what would I tell myself is, you're exactly where you need to be right now, but keep on focusing on where you want to be in the future.
Mm. I love that. And that's what people call working on your business versus in your business, right?
Absolutely.
In your
Absolutely.
business, you're at the details, but on your business is the strategy. Where are we going? I love that.
Mhm.
What about you, Monique? What would you tell your first 5 year in business self?
I would tell her to set your boundaries. The clients will continue to be there and they will come.
Mm.
I wouldn't have gone through what I've been through if I knew to do that much earlier in the process.
Mm.
In those first 5 years, you want to please everyone and you want to
Yeah.
do everything, and
Yes.
set those boundaries. You can
Mm.
still have a great business. You will still do well. If some people leave, that's their business. They didn't need to be your client in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
But set those boundaries. Protect your peace.
Mm. Love that. Love that. All right. What does having it all mean to you now? And has that definition changed for you, Rhonda?
What is having it all now? Peace, a life of peace. And I don't know if that's really changed for me. over time, even when I was younger, then that was important to me. It looked different, but it was always important to me. And at the end of the day, that's what having it all looks like to me. Monique was mentioning that earlier, your health, being able to get out and take that walk, having the luxury of being able to get out there and take that walk,
Right.
enjoying the sunshine and, the simple things in life.
Yeah.
That's what having it all is to me.
Yes, I love that. Love that. Nikki, what does having it all looks like for you, and has that changed over time?
I will say peace of mind and be able to do what you want to do.
I love that. What about you, Monique?
Having it all has definitely changed for me over time. Because if you asked me 5 years ago, then it would have been like, well, I need this much money, I need this car, this house, this, whatever. But today, even when I think about being a small business owner myself, having it all means to be fulfilled in what I do and what I'm giving. Right. And so it's what I'm giving to my clients that they walk away feeling better. It's also as I grow, my team, like when I see some of the people, they're like, oh, no, I understand because of this and that. Now I'm like, look at you. Like that really makes me happy. So being able to, yes, be compensated for what I do, but the fulfilling part is to still be that mentor and to be that resource for individuals. That is what having it all means to me.
Love it, love it. And our final question to all you ladies, and I'll start with you, Rhonda. What has surprised you about your entrepreneur journey? What have you discovered about yourself, about business, about life as you've gone through this entrepreneur journey that kind of surprised you? It was something you didn't expect, or maybe just never took the time to think about. Is there something about this journey that surprised you?
I feel like every day there's something that surprises me. You get to the point where you just expect
to live and breathe and
embrace it.
Yeah. It's not static. It's just all something. Yeah, I get.
There's going to be something new every day, and if there's not a surprise, then okay, well, what's going on? Like, well, what's happening today?
I get that, definitely.
But yeah, I guess that's one of the things that I didn't really expect it. And if you had asked me that same question 10 years ago, that would have been something I'd be afraid of, because I was used to knowing how things were going to go. And A plus B equals C, 1 plus 1 equals 2. I was used to that kind of a world. And now where, 1 plus 1 could equal 5 sometimes. And you wake up one day and it's like, oh, that's not what I expected. But it's part of the excitement. Part of the excitement of running a business, and learning something new every day, I guess, is one of those more exciting things to me. It's like, okay, well, what am I going to learn about today? I tell people stories all the time. I was like, there are a million ways out here that people make money.
Yeah.
And being an accountant, you start to see, you're like, you do what?
Right. Like, I didn't even know that was, well, it does make sense. We do need that, but yeah, it's not one of the business that we hear about all the time. I get that. Definitely, yeah. What about you, Monique? Anything surprised you about?
What has hyped me up and kept me going is I can do all things. And I don't mean it in terms of having to do all things within the business, but there are times, within this journey, within this path, it's just like, wow, I got it. I know it. I can do it. I can do all things. And so that is one of the biggest things that, I trust in and I believe in for myself.
Got it. So kind of like a reaffirming your greatness. You're seeing your own greatness. You're like, wow, I love that. Because so many times we accomplish things and we just let it go past us because we're on to the next. And I love that you're able to sit in and claim, okay, I did that. Oh, I did that. That's wonderful. I love that. What about you, Nikki? Anything about your entrepreneur journey that surprised you?
Yeah, is that I would say that what has surprised me is I didn't. So you know something, but you don't know that you know it. So, like,
Yes.
yeah. So when you work for for someone else, you focus on one area, right?
Uh-huh.
And when you start on your own, and when you start getting customer, you are facing a lot of new things.
Yes.
And the first thing, you are afraid, right? Because you don't know if you can do it
Uh-huh.
until you have it, and you started doing it.
Uh-huh.
So that is something that has surprised me. I was like, so I know a lot of things like that. I didn't know that I can do it.
Yes.
And also the constant, what is you are constantly learning,
Yes.
always in continued education. I would say, you are always in continued education, because you have a lot of the different, I would say, different situation. On each situation, you have to learn. So
Yes.
because you have to learn, that is how you are gaining a lot of knowledge. And
Yeah. So you're learning in
yeah,
real time, right? When you
yes,
real time,
yes,
you're picking up, okay, because you have to figure it out. Okay, what's the solution
yes.
to this?
So
Okay, I've learned that, I've solved that. All right, now I know how to do that. Okay, what's next?
yes,
Oh, something
yeah.
new. Now
So
let me learn this, and I got that. Yeah.
I got that. Yeah, I would definitely say that I learned that entrepreneurship is like a school. So
Yeah.
when you are a business owner, you like a teacher, that always look for something new. That is why we say you always in school.
Mm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love that, how you share that. Yeah, a lot of times we don't know how much we know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we've been doing one main thing, there's also some um things that go along with that we are aware of. I always, when I do my self-talk, I tell myself that I am 10 times better than I realize I am, right? Because what I am aware of is probably 10% of what I'm really capable of. But like you eloquently put it, but when I get in that situation, then that part of me comes out. I'm like, oh, I know I can do that. Okay, you did that pretty good, right? So I always, when I think I can't do something, I tell myself, no, you're 10 times better than you know you are.
Mm-hmm.
And when you go through in real time, solving the solutions, finding the solutions, then you realize you've proven that to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love that. That is a surprise, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
think you know everything about yourself, but you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know, someone once told me, um, on one of my podcasts, I think it was Bianca, she said when she was living in her comfort zone, she said when you live in your comfort zone, you really don't know who you are as a person, right? You don't know all the stuff you're capable of because you've stayed in this little room right here. So when you get out the room, you give yourself space for all that talent, all that knowledge, all that energy and creativity to come out. So, yes. Beautiful, beautiful. So, ladies, thank you so much for being part of this exhale session, for showing up fully, not just as professionals, but as women. There was so much honesty in this conversation, so much growth, and so many reminders that success doesn't have to come at the expense of your peace. And to the woman listening, I hope you take a moment to just breathe, to release the pressure, to have everything figured out, to release the expectation that you have to carry it all on your own, and to remember you are allowed to build a life that feels as good as it looks. Thank you for being here, for listening, and for continuing to do the work of becoming. So I want to leave you with this: build the business, but don't forget to build the life that allows you to enjoy it. And if you appreciate anything you experienced with us today, we ask you please be sure to do 4 powerful actions: subscribe, comment, rate us 5 stars, and share the podcast with sisters in business you care about. And as always, I wish you the very best of joy, health, and wealth. Until next time, be well.